I'm Jeanine Ten Broeck with Soul Alchemists. Welcome to this intermediate level Hatha Yoga practice. Please modify any poses as needed. You can start in an easy cross-legged position, Sukhasana, or half lotus. Close your eyes and arrive in your body, taking several deep, full breaths. Connect with the earth and this moment as you open your eyes and walk your hands forward, stretching them out in front and then moving them over to the left and the right sides of the mat, stretching through your side body and then back through center, breathing your hands back. And we'll switch the cross of the legs, taking the opposite leg on top. Again, take a deep breath, and as you exhale, fold forward and over to the right, and then over to the left corner of your mat. Breathe back through center, and then walk your hands back towards your body. Drop the chin to the chest, stretching through the back of the neck, and then start to circle your head in one direction. Breathing as you move, gentle with your neck, switching directions. Bringing the head back through center. And then transitioning to a tabletop position, all fours, and breathing several rounds of cat and cow, exhaling in cat and inhaling into cow. Articulating your spine as you breathe, grounding through the palms. Take your toes together and knees apart and sit back into child's pose. And then walk the hands over towards the right corner of the mat, stretching through your left side body, and breathe over to the opposite side. Come back through center, walk your hands towards you, and take a high kneeling position. If you need to, you can fold your mat under your knees an extra time to support them. Tuck your toes underneath. And clasp opposite elbows behind your back as you drop your chin to your chest and then look up. Just creating more range of motion with the neck, switching the cross of the arms, and look side to side with the head over one shoulder and then the other. Continuously breathing as you move. Take your high kneeling position and move your left foot over to the left, taking gate pose. And sliding over to the opposite direction, back through center. And right toes out to the right, right hand sliding along that leg as the left fingertips reach up and over, and then float to the opposite side, coming down to a block or the floor, stretching through your right fingertips. And float right back up through center, high kneeling. As you exhale, take downward facing dog and pedal out the legs, warming up. You can bend both knees and press your chest into your thighs. Stretch through the waist, the ribs, and the backs of the legs. Heels reaching for the earth, and then step your right foot forward, finding runner's lunge. Ankle out in front of the knee. Drop that back knee for low lunge. Lengthen through your spine as you breathe. Take prayer pose and tuck your back toes. Frame the front foot. Step back to downward dog. Breathing deeply here. Finding whatever feels right in your body as you stretch. And take the opposite leg forward. Runner's lunge. If you drop your earring, pick it up. Breathing here and then dropping the back knee, low lunge, beginning with the back of the foot pressed into the mat, the top of the back foot. Palms come to prayer as you tuck the back toes. Frame your front foot, step back to downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Deep, full breaths. long spine, high hips. And then walking forward to the top of your mat. As you inhale, lift halfway, lengthen through your spine. As you exhale, fold into Uttanasana, bending your knees and rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Sweeping your arms up overhead with you as you arrive in Samastitihi, palms in prayer, equal balance pose. And find a focal point in front of you to help you balance as you bend through your right knee and stretch the front of the right leg, balancing here. And then gently switch sides. If your knee hurts, flex that ankle and just work with your balance. Otherwise, you can hold the top of the foot and draw the heel in. And then move back to the top of your mat in Samastitihi. Sweep your arms up and lean over to the left and then the right, creating crescent shape with your body. Draw the palms through heart center. Step your feet to mat's width distance. Sit down into garland pose, lengthening through your spine, grounding all four corners of both feet. Breathing deep, full breaths. Come all the way to rise. Samastitihi, equal balance pose. Sweep the arms up, overhead, and take the hands to your sacrum. Take a gentle back bend, gazing up. Clasp the hands behind your back, and then fold forward, knuckles up towards the sky. Head drops, opening the shoulders. Release the hands to the legs, lift halfway. Exhale and float or step back to plank. Breathing deeply here. And then drop the knees, chest and chin. Press into the tops of the feet. Lift from the back of the heart, cobra. Press yourself back to child's pose. Knees and ankles together. And walk the hands over to the left corners of the mat. And then to the right corner of the mat. Breathe right back through center for Balasana, child's pose. And again, transition to downward facing dog. Lift the right leg and step it through. Taking a crescent lunge. Sweeping the arms up overhead and floating them back down again several times. Palms come to meet in front of the heart as you drop your back knee for low lunge. Frame your front foot, step back to downward dog. Breathing, lifting the left leg up for three-legged dog and step it through. Take Alanasana, crescent lunge, sweeping the arms up and floating them down several times, and then palms come to prayer. Drop your back knee, low lunge, frame your front foot, step back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Hop or walk to the top of your mat, lifting halfway and then folding and bending the right knee and switching sides, bending the left knee. Inhale, lift halfway. Lengthen through the spine and fold into Uttanasana, dropping the crown of the head down, and then reverse swan dive. Come all the way up to Samastitihi, equal balance pose. Cross the right elbow over the left, wrap the arms, eagle arms here. And then take the left ankle in front, either in kickstand or wrapping the leg all the way around as you sit down in Garudasana, balancing, focusing on a drishti if you can, a focal point. Inhale to release, unwind and switch arms. Taking the opposite elbow on top. And then the right ankle comes in front or wrapping the legs all the way around for Garudasana. Breathe, lengthen your spine, soften the face. Come up to unwind, equal balance pose at the top of the mat. Take a gentle back bend, stretching fingertips up, and then swan dive to Uttanasana. And sweep the arms up into chair, palms to prayer. Float back through Chaturanga Dandasana, cobra or upward dog. Find downward facing dog. Lift the right leg for three-legged dog. Open the hip if you like, and then step through to warrior one, grounding your back foot. Exhale to warrior two, and reverse warrior, wrapping your back arm towards the opposite hip. If you like, come back to warrior two, cartwheel the arms down, take downward facing dog. It may help to have a dog with you in this pose. Open the left hip, three-legged dog. And you can draw that foot through again. Take warrior one, grounding your back foot. Exhale to warrior two and reverse warrior, wrapping the back arm. Find warrior two and cartwheel the arms down, downward facing dog. Big breath here. Drop to your knees. Take a high kneeling position. Again, supporting your knees as needed. Tuck your toes, press the palms into the sacrum, and take Ustrasana, camel pose, opening the throat, and then neutralizing the spine and the arms. One more time, same thing, or reach back for your heels, opening the heart and the throat. Come out the same way you came in. Pause in between. If you want a third time, you can press the tops of the feet down, press the hips forward, and come out gently just as you came in. Drop the arms at your sides. Take all fours and lift right arm and left leg, and then tuck into a ball. Lengthen, exhale, tuck, inhale, lengthen, and table switch sides. Tucking as you exhale, lengthening as you inhale. One more lengthen and tabletop position. Take the knees apart, sit back in child's pose. Breathe into the kidneys, tuck the toes, find downward facing dog. Pedal it out a moment. Breathe and float or walk forward to half lift as you inhale and fold into Uttanasana as you exhale. Reverse swan dive, come all the way up. Samastitihi, equal balance pose. At the top of your mat, breathing, grounding through the feet, palms in prayer. Find warrior three, kicking back with the left foot first and hinging at the hips, creating a right angle with the body. Arms can be like an airplane out at your side or overhead. And then gently come out to Samastitihi. And same thing on the other side, kicking that back heel back as though you'd press it into a wall, finding your hand position either in prayer or at your sides or overhead, focusing on a drishti, and then gently breathe back to Samastitihi. Gentle standing back bend and come through to chair pose, twisting first to your right and then over to your left as you exhale, back through center, fold, float back through chaturanga, cobra or upward dog. Lift one leg and then the other, and step back to downward facing dog. Breathe, lift the right leg, open the hip. If you want, take wild thing, stepping all the way over, opening the heart, give your dog a kiss. And back to downward facing dog. Opposite leg lifts, open the hip, wild thing if you like, open that heart. Breathe and come straight back through downward facing dog. Again, lift the right leg, take it across to the opposite edge of the mat, stretching the IT band, and back through downward dog, opposite side, lengthening the fingertips up, stepping back to downward facing dog, and take the right leg forward, warrior one, warrior two, reverse warrior, wrapping that back arm. And floating to extended side angle. Breathing, opening the heart, framing the front foot, step back to downward dog. Same thing on the other side, stepping the left leg through to warrior one, Virabhadrasana one, then two, back to warrior, reverse warrior, wrapping that back arm back, and then floating to extended side angle. The front arm comes to the leg. Frame your front foot, step back to downward facing dog, and float to the top of your mat, lifting halfway, folding as you exhale. Inhale all the way up, and Samastitihi, equal balance pose. Feel your feet grounding down at the four corners, and grow roots as you come into tree, Vrikshasana. Make sure that your foot is not on your knee, it can be above or below, and the arms can reach up if you feel stable. You can focus on a drishti, a focal point. And when you're ready, switching sides, taking the left foot into the upper inner thigh or below the knee. Palms start in prayer and then lift if you feel balanced and stable. Vrikshasana. Palms back through prayer and come to the top of the mat. Samastitihi. Sweep your arms up and sit into chair pose. Palms in prayer. Twist right and exhale left. Back through center. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Float back through Chaturanga Dandasana to Upward Dog. Lift one leg, then the other. Step back to Downward Facing Dog. Big breaths here. Lift the right leg and draw it all the way towards the opposite wrist. Ankle to the opposite wrist, setting up for pigeon on this side. Lifting the heart and coming down into a fold at whatever level suits you. Breathing deeply, relaxing the face and shoulders, squaring the hips, and then breathing yourself back up, lifting the heart. If you want, you can bend the back knee, perhaps reach back and draw it towards you. And step back to Downward Facing Dog. Find your breath, step the left foot up and ankle towards the opposite wrist, setting up for pigeon on this side. Flexing that front ankle, lengthen your spine, find your fold, breathe along the spine and into the hips as you soften jaw and shoulders. Surrendering down, letting go. And then breathing yourself back up, lifting through the heart. If you want, bend the back knee, reach for the ankle and draw it towards you. Swing your legs around and transition to fire log position, taking one ankle on top, bouncing the knee, stacking the lower legs, fold. Inhale, lift up and fold again. Inhale, come up and switch sides, taking the opposite foot on top. Ankle is flexed, bounce the knee to open the hip. On fingertips, float down and up and down. And one more time coming up. And then half lotus position if you like. Or full lotus, bringing the bottom foot up and over. If you're able, palms face up on the thighs and then come to closed eyelids as you look inward. Breathe. Float the hands down. And we'll switch legs, taking half or full lotus on the other side, Padmasana. And drawing the palms to closed eyelids as you look within, breathe. And then if you want, you can take fish from here or stay in lotus. You can come back to forearms, lifting the heart, opening the throat if it's okay for your neck. Either way, find your way onto your back, hug your knees into your chest, massage your low back, and begin to rock along your spine, massaging your spine. Find your way into plow pose, rocking the feet all the way up overhead, legs are straight. You can clasp the hands behind you and roll your shoulders underneath. Keep some space between chin and chest. And then just release the knees to the ears and rock again along your spine. Rock all the way up into garland, low squat, malasana. Palms in prayer, long spine, grounded feet. And if you like, you can try crow pose, balancing on the palms, taking the knees to the backs of the arms, either balancing on tiptoes or lifting your feet, and then drop the knees, move the calves aside and sit on a block or the floor between the feet. Hero's pose, stretching through the fronts of the legs, circling the wrists here, one way and then the other as you breathe. And then coming all the way back, if you can, onto your back, lifting the arms up overhead. Float the hands back down, take hold of the feet and draw yourself gently back up. Take all fours and stretch the backs of the knees for a moment. And then setting up for headstand, creating a cradle for your head with your hands, maybe just balancing on tiptoes or lifting the legs up as you balance on your forearms and support your head. The head is not weighted here, it's the forearms that hold your weight. Breathe in headstand. You can also, again, just have your toes on the ground. And when you're ready to come out, take a child's pose. Breathe into the back of the neck. Take hold of your feet and lift the hips high for rabbit. And then come up to kneeling, swing the legs around and take staff pose, flexing through the ankles, squeeze the legs, lengthen your spine and breathe. Tuck the right knee in, take a bind, right arm wraps in front of that knee, left arm comes behind you, hands clasp, or you can just grab your shirt and then fold over your left leg. Dandasana and switch sides, bending the left knee, wrapping the left arm. Right arm comes back around. You lengthen your spine, and then as you exhale, folding over the extended leg. And moving the knees and seat forward, rock again along your spine. Knees come into your chest, Apanasana, and then open them wide for Supta Baddha Konasana, letting the inner thighs lengthen. Stay here or move into your final resting pose, into Shavasana. Rest as long as you like, as long as you need to.